this was a vintage White Sox, Giants, Carlos Rodon kind of start. That's what this was.
Yeah.
It was a Cy Young level, great, electric use of the fastball slider combo. I mean, he was electric today.
You are Locked On Yankees, your daily New York Yankees podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome to Locked On Yankees, which is part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Thank you for making us your first listen every day. I'm Stacey Gonsulius. This episode of Locked On Yankees is brought to you by Booking.com. Booking.yeah. The right stay can make you a fan of any city, even your rivals. Check out Booking.com for your stay today. With me as usual is my co-host Brian McKeon. Brian.
Stacey, weird way to feel, right?
Yes.
2-2?
I'm like, this is odd. Like, I'm not going to be yelling on the show. This is going to be great. Before we get started, don't forget to subscribe to the podcast on whichever podcasting platform you prefer. Subscribe to our channel on YouTube, like our videos, hit the bell so you know when the videos go up. Coming up on today's show, we're previewing the Subway Series Part Deux. It's here again, this time at Yankee Stadium. We will be talking about an article from The Athletic about Juan Soto and interviewing Juan Soto and answers that he has to certain questions, feelings that he has about the Yankee fans, and more. But first, Carlos Rodón. Can we?
Yeah. He deserves the claps for this one. He does.
My goodness. I mean, a totally different pitcher from the last few starts.
To his credit, he's had a few of these in his Yankee tenure, right? Where he's had these like dominant classic Rodon starts. The strikeout pitch was back today, obviously, with the 10 Ks. He was all over the place. Really, really, really good performance from him. And you haven't seen a lot of these over the last 2 months from him. I would like to say you can hope that he builds off of this, but this was a vintage White Sox, Giants, Carlos Rodon kind of start. That's what this was.
Yeah.
It was a Cy Young level, great, electric use of the fastball slider combo. I mean, he was electric today. And that's as much as I could say. The whole team played like this team should be playing every day. Now, again, they did this Friday night.
Right.
Friday night, they looked the exact same way. And look what happened. So
right.
I can't sit here and say, oh, this is like they're back and they're going to continue. Let's see what they do against the Mets, because the 2 games against the Mets they have are not easy games, especially pitching wise. They're seeing good pitchers. So it's going to be an interesting series. Actually, it comes at a good time because it's a pretty good litmus test for them.
Yeah.
The Yankees, like the Mets, are going to provide a really good litmus because Mets are coming in not playing well either. They just lost a series to the Marlins.
Right.
But overall, I mean, this game, if you're going to script out how the Yankees are going to play and win games, it's probably it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And it's funny because let's take a peek behind the curtain. I had to go get my eyes examined on Monday, and I had an appointment at 1. And I was joking with my mother. I said, I'm going to get out at like 1:30, 1:40, depending on how long it takes. And, hopefully the Yankees aren't down by 4 runs. So I couldn't see because I had my eyes dilated. So I couldn't even check my phone. So I had to wait till I got home. And when I got home, things were starting to wear off a little bit. And I looked at the TV and Michael K's like, it's the top of the 4th inning. And I'm like, it's 1:45. How's it the top of the 4th inning? And then I looked at the score and I was like, whoa. Then when Rodon got through that inning and I saw he didn't have a hit, he hadn't given up a hit at that point. And I was like, should I go back out?
Jaw dropping.
Yeah. I was like, should I go back outside? Like, what is this? It was an enjoyable game to watch. This is the type of game that you want to sit through, where everything is going right. There were a couple of blips, but they didn't affect the game. That one play with Oswaldo and Volpe colliding, which was really dumb. That was dumb on Oswaldo's part. And, something bad could have happened, but it didn't. You get a home run from DJ LeMaheiu. Like,
wasn't, I will say, great that he drove into the ball, right? Wasn't really like a moonshot kind of hard contact.
Oh, no.
It felt like the ball happened to drop onto his bat at the right trajectory, which helped the ball go out. Like, it was just a perfect launch angle, perfect velocity that helped to go out. It didn't really seem like an impressive kind of like really he got into one. Right. Like, who was a player that I think of that has been struggling, but I could picture running into one and really getting a hold of it and that could kickstart them? There's 2 guys on the team right now. Verdugo and Gleyber Torres. Guys that you've seen before that really get into one and have that pretty swing, and like that can spark you. That wasn't that kind of swing that I saw at DJ LeMaheiu. This felt like a oops.
Well, you know what was funny about it? My brother was rewinding it for some reason right at the moment that the ball hit the bat. And then we both looked at each other because he rewound it 15 seconds. And we both looked at each other. I'm like, that sounded good off the bat. And then his iPad went off. He said, oh, man, he hit a home run. So then we went back to see the home run. It was just fun. I was like, oh, my God. He ran around the bases in like 10 seconds because he's not used to doing it because he hasn't hit. It was his first home run all season. The Yankees hit a bunch of home runs today, but they also scored in different ways, which was also nice. It wasn't just home run reliant.
That's the positive.
Like that's what you want to see because when they had the two guys on base and Cabrera up, I was like, could you at least make this 4-0? And then he did. So thank you, Oswaldo, for that. But all around, good game. Happy with everything about it. The home run controversies were annoying just to listen to the chatter about everything. Because Rodon even said after the game, because, Siri took his time going around the bases, and then Soto took his time going around the bases even longer. It was almost 40 seconds. But Rodon said, he hit a home run off me. He could run as fast or as slow as he wants to.
Which is the right response.
Yeah.
That's the right response. But Soto
and then
did,
Boone also said the same thing. Yeah. Boone also said the same thing the night, Sunday. If you don't want someone to show you up after they hit a home run, don't give up a home run.
Well, the best thing was too, is after the game too, Soto gives you when he's asked about it, Soto gives you the response of, it's just a hot day out there. I got to protect the hammies. Like, we knew what you're doing, Juan. Like,
okay. But hey, if they can dish it out, then the Yankees are going to be like, all right, well, cool. All right, we'll do that.
And also Juan Soto's home runs were moonshots. Like when you hit a home run like that into there's not a lot of home runs that I've seen into the third deck of Yankee Stadium to this third deck. Not a lot.
No.
You know who used to hit a lot of them there? Mark Teixeira, your boy. But you haven't seen a lot of home runs hitting that distance in Yankee Stadium before.
Why is he my boy?
I don't know. I feel like you're a Teixeira guy. You know what? You know what? Maybe you're not. Maybe you're not a Teixeira kind of girl. I know what you are, though. You're a Yankees first baseman kind of girl. I feel like Mattingly. You got a really bad history of liking Yankee first baseman.
Well, okay, so let's just quickly do this because we have time.
Yes.
Greg Nettles was number one, my first favorite player.
Okay.
Dave Righetti, then Don Mattingly, and then Mattingly for a really long time.
Yeah.
Then Jeter.
Okay, but that's basic. Jeter's very basic. Everyone loved Derek Jeter.
I thought he was hot and we were the same age. Like that's what it was. All right. I'll admit that because the best thing about being me and looking like me is that we can love the game of baseball, but we can also find the players hot. It's the greatest thing in the world.
The great equalizer.
It really is. No, it really is because guys will automatically assume that we only watch baseball because we find the guys hot. But then when we throw knowledge at them, they're like, oh,
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it was Giambi. It was Giambi after Jeter.
Yeah.
Right. And then you've said that you've had an affinity for Mark Teixeira. So you go down this. It wasn't
Teixeira. I liked A-Rod.
I don't know. I feel like you've left first baseman breadcrumbs before.
No. After Giambi, no, not really. Yeah. Well, no. It was
regardless.
It was A-Rod. And now I'm
not a lot of guys. Not a lot of guys have hit home runs to where these balls were landing for Soto today.
I think Russell Branyan hit one into my old section. I was in 305 in right field. That's the last section of the lower part of the upper deck, and he hit a home run ball there. And I was watching it on TV. And I was like, we don't expect balls in 305 not at all. Like we always saw them fall in front of us or go into the bleachers or wherever. But yeah, that's unbelievable.
That's why I want an all-star game at Yankee Stadium because I want to see a derby where guys can actually reach up there.
Oh yeah.
The new format really doesn't allow guys to hit these massive bombs like they used to.
That's true.
I do like the new format because the old 10-out format used to get. We're really going off topic, but who cares? The old format, you used to get guys that were, you weren't getting the home run derby was lasting too long is what I'm trying to say.
Oh my God,
format, it was going until 2:00 in the morning. You didn't want that. So I understand changing it to make it more of an event and like a 3-hour event. So it's in a nice, concise amount of time. That's fine. But this new format doesn't allow those Josh Hamilton massive bombs to the back wall of the old stadium. I do miss those too.
Yeah.
But anyway, today's game was exactly what you want to see out of them, right? It included the power, it included manufacturing runs in other ways, and it included a dominant start out of a guy like Carlos Rodon, who I keep saying this because they keep mentioning World Series, and they're, Juan Soto said today in his comments, we're not going to win the World Series with 2 players. We're going to win it with all of our guys. And he's right in that. But by being right in that, it also means that you need the pitching staff to be the pitching staff. And Carlos Rodon, I'm sorry, is one of those guys. And I don't care what Schmidt does when he comes back. I don't care what deadline acquisition does when he gets here. I don't care what Stroman does. They're going to win a World Series. If they're going to win a World Series, it's going to be based on how well Garrett Cole pitches, and it's going to be based on how well Carlos Rodon pitches in big games. That's it. That's it. And you hope you get contributions out of Luis Heel and Marcus Stroman. That would be great. You are not winning a World Series if you don't get dominant performances out of Garrett Cole and out of Carlos Rodon. That's it. End of story. So he's one of the guys that you need to turn around. I feel like Garrett Cole kind of has turned it around, and I think you'll see a dominant performance out of him on Wednesday too, because I think he's a guy that looks up at the scoreboard and sees 4 on the ERA and pisses him off a little bit.
Well, yeah, they're not gonna hit him like they hit him in the first time that they faced him, because he's
got a little bit of vengeance out there. He's gonna want to prove something that he's got.
Like they're gonna be up against pissed off Garrett Cole, which I wouldn't want to be facing them. No. Don't forget, subscribe to the channel, hit the like button on our videos, and hit the notification bell so you know when our videos go up. Also reply to the pinned comment on our videos Monday through Thursday. There were like 5 replies on Monday's show, which I was very happy about. And an obnoxious reply from an Astros fan, and I deleted it because I wasn't in the mood for it this morning. But anyway, leave your questions for Fan Mail Friday under the pinned comment Monday through Thursday's videos. Or you can join the Locked On Yankees Insiders Club. The link is in the description. You'll get text from us. You can text us reactions, questions. And for Fan Mail Friday, you're in segment 1 because you get top priority. There's a 14-day free trial. Sign up. Just do it. Coming up next, we're going to talk about the Juan Soto article from The Athletic.
This episode of Locked On Yankees is brought to you by Booking.com. Booking.yeah. It's summer and that means baseball, but summer also means travel, so why not mix the two? Do you think it's time you explored some of those cities around the country that you secretly wanted to learn about? Yeah, we're talking about Yankees rivalry cities. Planning a trip to Fenway to see the Yankees take on the Red Sox this coming weekend? Booking.com makes it a breeze, and it's not just about hotels. You can choose from a variety of accommodations like bed and breakfast, vacations, rentals, resorts, and more, all with the convenience of Booking.com. On Booking.com, you can find the perfect stay even in your baseball team's rival city. And for Yankee fans, that means more than just Boston. It means Baltimore and Tampa too. You can book hotels that overlook stadiums or book family-friendly resorts. Booking.com has so many choices across the U.S. for your summer travel this MLB season. The right stay can make you a fan of any U.S. city, even your rivals. Book today on Booking.com, on the site, or in the Booking.com app. And this episode of Locked On Yankees is also brought to you by FanDuel. I love sports, and I love them so much that I never want them to stop. But as the playoffs wind down and we get fewer games, the sports, they're not just sporting like I want them to anymore. And FanDuel keeps the sports going whenever I want. All I have to do is open the app and dream up any bets I'm in the mood. And this summer, FanDuel is hooking up all customers with a boost or bonus daily. That's right. There's something for everybody, every day, all summer long. Think about it. You could bet the Olympics. USA men's basketball is getting going, right? You're going to have soccer, international soccer, tennis, Nadal going out there for Spain for the last time. There's so many options to get out there and bet. And you got to do all your betting this summer on FanDuel. So head over to FanDuel.com/locked-on and make the most out of your summer. FanDuel, it's the official sports betting partner of Major League Baseball. Welcome back to Locked On Yankees. Locked On Sports Today is a free 24/7 sports streaming channel programmed for you every day to bring you the biggest sports stories without all the noise. Locked On Sports Today brings you can't-miss analysis, opinions, and news streaming 24/7 on YouTube or the free Amazon Fire TV channels app. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. And don't forget, Yankee fans, you can catch every pitch of the Yankees' hometown broadcast with SiriusXM. You just got to download the SXM app and search the word Yankees. As I bring my Locked On partner, Stacey, back in. Stacey, we have a great article that came out on The Athletic the other day. about Juan Soto and his future with the Yankees and where he stands going into his future with the Yankees. Fascinated me. It caught my attention because the article references itself around what's going to make Juan Soto want to stay, right? Like, what is he really looking for? Now, in my opinion, when I look at this, full disclosure, I think Juan Soto's looking for this. He's looking for cash. That's all he cares about, right? So I don't want to hear about how he's looking for titles and division titles and pennants. And no, he's going to the highest suitor, like all baseball players do. They're going to tell you they want to win, and all athletes go to the highest bidder. But Stacey, it says in this article, and it frames it that, it frames in this article that Juan Soto is going to go to the team that makes him a winner, that it's going to allow him to win multiple championships. Does it sound like he's signing with the Yankees?
Yeah, but there's a whole rest of the quote there. Like, they're framing it wrong.
No, I know, but I'm just putting it out there in the title of the article, though.
Right, because
when I read the title, I didn't read it as, oh, Juan Soto's coming back for sure.
Right, because the entire quote is, because they asked him, as for the offseason, his priority when making his decision in free agency is winning. But the quote says, quote, being in a place where we can win a couple of championships, and even if we don't, just being in the race every year, I think that's the biggest thing for me. Well, hey, if you want to be in the race every year, here's your place.
Yeah. We'll get you in the race. You're not going to win.
You're not going to win anything. But
you're gonna be like
be right there. You'll
play in big games.
Sure.
You'll play in big games that people paid a lot of money to go to. But I don't know. You're not going to necessarily win those big games.
Right. No. Because I hate when they do stuff like that. I know why they do stuff like that. Because they want you to click on the article like, oh no. Yeah. And then you click on it. And it's just like a love fest in the article.
A couple of these quotes didn't quite feel like a love fest. This quote felt like the girl that you've been crushing on for years and years and years, and you finally ask her to be your girlfriend, and she says, I don't really view you that way. You're kind of a friend to me. When they asked Soto if he can envision himself playing for the Yankees for the rest of his career, quote, it hasn't crossed my mind. I'm actually just thinking about this year. That one doesn't feel good. That one stings a little. That's been my mindset. I feel like we have a really good chance to win a championship here, and that's what I'm all about. Like the quote, I don't hate the quote, but if you were gung-ho on him re-signing with the Yankees and you see that quote, doesn't make me feel terrific.
Right. But he doesn't want to say, yeah, I'm going to play here. Because then other teams are going to be like, well, then why are we going to bother? Like, he wants to drive the price. Like, he's not dumb. Like, he knows what to do. I don't blame him, because I would try to get as much money as possible, too, if I were one of the best baseball players
ever
on God's green earth.
If you want to feel confident as a Yankee fan, these other quotes really make you feel good about yourself as a fan. Quote, everybody talks about how hard Yankee fans can be. It's really surprising how much fun you can have here when you're winning. They always have your back no matter what. I think it's been even more than what I expected. I knew we were going to be good and it was going to be fun, but it's been an amazing ride with the team we have. That's a really cool quote. You like to see kind of players loving where they're playing. And then he says, quote, they want to win. They are really hungry to win. Most impressive fans I've ever played for. Now, he played in Washington and San Diego. I don't know if their fan bases were necessarily the most passionate fan bases. Not that I'm knocking those fan bases, but they're not quite Yankee fans. Right. So I understand
what do the Nationals have in recent years that the Yankees do not?
A title. I hate to say a title, a pennant.
Yeah, that too.
The Yankees don't have that.
After all those years of not making it past the first round, once they made it past the first round, I was like, oh, cool. All right. They made it to an ALCS. Good for them.
Listen, he wins a World Series. He wins a World Series this year. He'll be a god here. It won't even really matter. He'll be a god here. Him and Judge. And again, like, this is what I was saying before. If they're going to win this year, if they're going to win in future years, it's going to be on the back of Juan Soto. It's going to be. It's going to be Soto performing and Judge performing. You don't win. We just saw this. If you're a hockey fan, the New York Rangers being knocked out of the playoffs, right? They weren't going to win games because their top players weren't performing. At the end of the day, in sports, and this goes across the board for all sports, to win a championship, you need your role players to have good performances, and you need those kind of guys to play well. Not arguing that. However, you also need your stars to perform like stars in the biggest moments. You do. Yeah. All championship teams win titles because their best players are their best players at the biggest times. And yes, you need your role players to play better than they've ever played. In goalkeeper sports, you need your goalie to play out of his mind. And you need a starting pitcher to generally pitch out of his mind. You need a reliever to pitch out of his mind. In football, you need your quarterback to start playing crazy. All that's true. But also, your best players are your best players. And if the Yankees are going to win, Juan Soto, Aaron Judge, Garrett Cole, and yes, I'm looking at you, Carlos Rodon, need to be their best players. They do.
Yep. Yeah, because when you think about how the Yankees won during the dynasty years and even in 2009, like 2009, I know they spent billions of dollars for the roster, but money doesn't always buy you championships because the players have to play. And they got contributions from the big guys. They also got contributions from the guy like Phil Koch. Like, you know, like that bullpen in 2009, when you think of the guys that were in there, you know.
You know what the key to that bullpen is, though, really quickly, though? And I know we're constantly harping on this issue, but we're going to harp on it until something's done about it.
Strikeouts.
Well, no, not that. You know why that bullpen was also so good? Now, those guys performed out of their mind, but you know why the bullpen was really good? It was managed really well.
Oh, well, that too. Yes.
It was managed really well.
I mean, as much as everyone makes fun of Girardi and his binder, he was
knew what he was doing with a bullpen.
Yeah, he really did. Yeah. Torrey was good with the bullpen at the beginning. And toward the end of his tenure, he got a little crazy. You know, like Paul Quantrill and Tom Gordon and what's his name? The guy whose arm almost fell off. We always joked about his arm falling off. I'll think about it in a few minutes.
Fell in love with guys that weren't fallen lovable.
Felix Heredia.
Yeah.
Why was he constantly putting Felix Heredia in baseball games? That used to drive me crazy. I remember that because that was when I was on Yankee message boards like 21, 22 years ago. And I would constantly be like, does he have like incriminating pictures or something? Why does he keep putting this man into the games? You know, at the beginning it was great because, I mean, I could have managed the dynasty teams because they were so good. But toward the end, some of his pitching decisions got a little crazy. But with Boone, it's like we say it all the time. Sometimes he leaves someone in too long. Sometimes he takes someone out too soon, or he just brings the wrong guy in. You're just like, what are you doing? So, yeah. But I like this quote. We'll end it with this. Soto said about Yankee fans, it's always great to see the crowd go crazy. I feel like they're so into the game and everything that it just makes you feel like they're a part of this. It's really exciting to see them going crazy like that every day, every game, and every evening. It doesn't matter if we're winning or losing. They're right there every single time. It's really cool. I feel like they've been supporting me since day one, and I'm really happy about that. Because I mean, and you see it when he ends the game, he's like doing things with the crowd, and even between innings, he's doing things with the crowd. And my mom had said something because my poor mother was at Sunday's game. She sat through that game. And she said, what's with the players constantly throwing balls in the stands? I almost got hit with one. I'm like, well, that's just, they do that. Yeah, that's like a thing that they do. My poor mother. Could you imagine? She's nearly 78 years old. I would have never stopped laughing if she texted me and said, I just got hit with a ball. I love Mom. I love you, Mommy. All right. Coming up, previewing the Subway Series Part 2.
Locked On Yankees is sponsored by eBay Motors. Passion, drive, and patience. What brings home the winning trophy is also what keeps your ride or die alive. eBay Motors has everything you need to maintain your vehicle and level it up to peak performance. From superchargers, roof racks, exhaust kits, LED headlights, and more, whether you're into speed, power, or style, eBay Motors has got you covered. With over 122 million parts for your number one ride or die, you'll always find exactly what you're looking for. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, your part is guaranteed to fit your ride every time or your money back. Because with eBay Motors, you're burning rubber, not cash. With all the parts you need at the prices you want, it's easy to turn your car into the MVP and bring home that win. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply. eBay Guaranteed Fit only, available to U.S. customers. And Locked On Yankees is also brought to you by PrizePicks. And guys, PrizePicks is the easiest and most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. Unlike other apps, on PrizePicks, it's just you against the numbers. All you do is pick more or less on 2 to 6 players' stat projections and watch the winnings roll in. You can now win up to 100 times your money on PrizePicks with as little as 4 correct picks. You can turn $10 into $1,000. And with the NBA season on their yearly break, the hoops action doesn't stop on PrizePicks. Women's basketball is still heating up, and with stars like Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese looking to make names for themselves, alongside greats like Breanna Stewart and Aja Wilson, You could win up to 100 times your cash watching these girls ball out. Download the PrizePicks app today and use code LOCKEDONMLB for a first deposit match up to $100. That's code LOCKEDONMLB on PrizePicks for a deposit match up to $100. Pick more, pick less. It's that easy. Locked On has launched the first ever national sports 24/7 streaming channel on YouTube, and now it's also available on Amazon Fire TV in the free Fire TV Channels app. Locked On Sports Today is here for you 24/7, covering the top sports stories of the day with the local experts of Locked On, plus our national shows that are covering every league. Find Locked On Sports Today now, available on the free Fire TV Channels app. And remember that you can catch every pitch of the Yankees' hometown broadcast with SiriusXM. Just download the SXM app and search the word Yankees. Stacey, Yankees-Mets gets going. Only a 2-game series. Next year, they'll go to the 3-game format again, or the 6 games, I guess, back and back in each stadium. Looking forward to this because the pitching matchups are quite rough for the Yankees. And I did mention earlier, it's quite a good litmus test for them going forward. First game, it's a 7:05 start. Listen to these start times. I'm never going to not flip out over the start times because they're the weirdest things ever. But just hear me out here. Start time for game 1, 7:05 p.m. Fine, normal start time. We see it all the time. The game's going to be on TBS for your TV watching needs. Jose Quintana, 4-6 with a 4.13 ERA, who's pitched really well for the Mets actually lately. He's going up against Luis Gil, 10-5, 3.17. He's gotten his ERA a lot further down than where it was. You got to be proud of what Luis Gil's done lately, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Game 2, though, is a 7 o'clock start on the dot. Why? Why? Where is the 5-minute difference coming from?
I think that's just ESPN.
It's so weird. Why?
I don't think it's going to actually start at 7.
Are
I
so
think
strange.
But I think the broadcast is starting at 7. I don't think the start time is actually 7, right?
That's what it said online. That's what I looked it up online, and I saw 7 o'clock.
That's odd.
Hold on. Let me find it for you. I'll go back to Wednesday. I'm gonna redo it. Back. Yep, 7 p.m. ESPN. Can't grasp it. Don't understand. Everything else is 7:03, 7:05, 7:08. This one's the only 7 o'clock start.
7:07 in Canada.
Since 2005, this is the first time I've ever seen a 7 o'clock on the dot start. Can't make it up. They're going up against Sean Manaea, who's 6-4 with a 3.73 ERA. He's had a really good year. For them, he's bounced back heavily for the Mets. He's going up against Garrett Cole with a 3-1 and a 4.60. I really think Garrett Cole, though, is going to have a big start in this game. You combine the fact that the Mets hit him pretty decently last time. They're the reason why his ERA is inflated. And you know Garrett Cole is the kind of alpha that doesn't like to see his ERA in the 4s.
No.
So I think you're going to get a big vintage kind of like dominant performance out of Garrett Cole. You look for a bulldog Garrett Cole going out there.
Yeah, I think so too. Because I like when he gets like that. It's fun to watch him. And he's looked a lot better. You know, he's looked more like himself. You know, because he didn't look like himself the first couple of starts, and the last 2 he's looked
the velocity is up, the location's up. He's been a lot better over the last 2 starts. I will say, I don't like these 2-game interleague series. They really should be. There should be more games. Enough with the. It feels like they're getting too cute with it. You know, it's standard 3-game series.
But I don't know why they changed it to this when they did, because it's been a while that. Because
I think people felt like it was a little oversaturated by every year playing 2 series, so they tried to like dim it down so it became a little more important. But I don't agree with that at all. This is 6 games are so much better,
right? And it's also because it's 2-game series, you can't have them on the weekend, and the weekend would be the bigger time to have the Subway Series. Because if you're so hell bent on having one, why wouldn't you have it on the weekend where you could do one national game if you needed to? And I think maybe that's what it was, because it was literally like every year. I think 2009, right, the Sunday game, Johan against AJ Burnett, was actually an afternoon game, and I couldn't believe it. I could not believe that it was an afternoon game. I was like, what? I'm not going to be at the stadium till like 2 a.m. And then when they played at Citi Field a couple of weeks later, it was the Sunday night ESPN game. That was the game when when K-Rod walked Mo, and he picked up his first career RBI. Yeah. I was out for my friend's birthday that night, and we went back to his house, and we were all watching the game. And, you know, we were with a bunch of people who don't really understand baseball. So when it happened, we were freaking out, and they were like, so we had to explain to them like what was going on. And they didn't know. They didn't care. They didn't know. They didn't care. They're like, oh, okay, we're happy that you're happy. Okay, thank you. Yeah, like that kind of a thing. So I remember being slightly annoyed that they changed it to 2-2 because like who cares about weekday series? Like, come on. But then there's the other part of me where I kind of wish they'd stop the Subway Series for like 5 years, like not even play them. You know,
it got stale.
Do away with it for like 5 years and then build it up again, because those first, like,
I'm sure it was amazing.
It was amazing. That's right, because you were itty bitty when they started. I went to one of the first ones at Shea, and
it was 99 they started, right?
It was 98. It was electric.
Yeah, I was a year old.
Electric. Yeah, it was just unbelievable because they would play in exhibition games, but I'll say it again. The Yankees and Mets are not rivals. They're not. Like, they're city rival, but that's not really a rivalry. Like, baseball tries to make it into a rivalry, and some fans try to, but it's really not. And it was interesting. It really was. And, you know, we got really into it. I had coworkers who were Met fans, and there was one series where the Mets actually swept the Yankees. I can't remember what year it was, but apparently my coworker had put a broom in my cubicle, and I didn't see it because by the time I got to work, it wasn't there. And my supervisor was like, yeah, Mike left a broom in your cubicle, and I warned him that you would probably do something with it bristles side up. So I took it out of, because I would have.
Yes.
I'm just saying, especially back then when I was still like in my 20s and kind of crazed. Yeah, no, I probably would have hit him with the broom, which is why they took it out of my cubicle. Because they were like, no, let's not do that. Just did.
Let's not cause violence in the workplace.
I told the story about how after they lost in 2004, no one spoke to me till like I had to speak to someone because I was like, why isn't anyone speaking to me? Like, what's happening? Like, if I was really feeling bad, I would have called in sick, dum-dums. Like, I'm fine. It's okay.
I don't know if I would have went to work that day.
Like I said, it was like a slow motion car wreck. I knew it was coming. Yeah. I wasn't expecting them to win. You know, it wasn't like 01 where it was just so shocking. Yeah. Like you're celebrating Soriano's home run. You're like, okay, Mo's coming in, he's going to close it. And then the Diamondbacks are celebrating and just like, you got like whiplash from that, where with the Red Sox series, it was literally like watching a slow motion car wreck. Like after the Red Sox won Game 4 the way they did, I was like,
you knew it was coming.
I'm like, I don't have a good feeling about this. This is really bad. And then Torrey choosing not to bunt on Curt Schilling and his ketchup ankle. I don't care about decorum. I don't care that you want to be nice. Bunt. What are you doing? Hello?
Made no sense.
It's 20 years later, and I still can't believe that happened. Ugh.
I wouldn't be over it either.
Yankees, Mets, 2-game series. Let's do this like, what was it, 22? Where the Mets won at Citi Field, the Yankees won at Yankee Stadium. Let's do it like that. Let's do a home and home split. Okay. The pitching.
Make the fans happy.
Yeah. Make the fans happy. The pitching on our side is good. The pitching on their side is good. Let's just hope that it goes, you know, towards the Yankees.
Should be a fun series.
Yeah. I would think so.
Let's hope the Yankees can score.
Yeah. Yeah. That too. That would be great. One more time. You can join the Locked On Yankees Insiders Club. There's a link in the description under our YouTube videos. And I believe I also put a link in the audio version of the show as well. It's a 14-day free trial. You get text from us. You can text us anything you want. Questions for Fan Mail Friday, comments, reactions to the games, questions about the hats that I wear. I've gotten that too. So, you know, ask whatever you want. It's a lot of fun. Like I said, 14-day free trial. So try it. If you don't like it, you don't have to do it. But if you do like it, stay with us because we're going to come up with some things that will make it more of an incentive for you to join. And for Fan Mail Friday, you can leave your questions under our YouTube videos Monday through Friday, pinned comment. Like I said earlier in the show, we got like five questions on Monday's show, which was very cool. Good job, everyone. And Fan Mail Friday is also a good time. You can ask us general baseball questions, Yankee questions, you know, just don't turn them into a novel. So that'll do it for this edition of Locked On Yankees. I'm Stacey Gotsoulias.
And I'm Brian McKeon. We'll see you guys tomorrow after the Subway Series.